So this could be very bad for the economy in general.
What if I told you that the city once called the entertainment capital of the world is now one of the biggest tourist traps in America? Las Vegas, a place built on the promise of cheap rooms and endless fun, has morphed into a playground only the wealthy can afford. Sky-high hotel fees, outrageous food prices, and disappearing deals have turned Sin City into a cash vacuum. Yet tourists keep walking straight into it. In today's countdown, we're exposing the brutal truth about why visiting Vegas in 2025 isn't just a mistake. It's financial self-sabotage. Number 7. The sticker shock of Vegas prices. Picture this. You book what looks like a deal on the Strip, maybe $150 a night. Reasonable, right? But by the time you check out, the bill looks like you've accidentally bought a used car. The reality is shocking. Vegas vacations are up 26% compared to pre-pandemic levels. And it's not just inflation, it's engineered price gouging. Start with hotel rooms. Average rates are 24% higher than just a few years ago, even though occupancy has dropped from 95% in 2019 to only 85% today. How does that make sense? Fewer guests, fewer rooms, yet higher prices. The Mirage is gone, the Tropicana is demolished for a new baseball stadium, and still, rooms that once cost $100 are now hitting $300 during peak weekends. The logic is upside down, but the casinos don't care. They're milking every visitor who still shows up. Then come the dreaded resort fees. Once mocked as a scam, these charges have ballooned into $40 to $55 per night, added after you book. And don't think the nickel and diming ends there. Renting a car? That's up 29%, plus $18 to $40 daily for parking. Feeling hungry? Since 2015, food prices have exploded a jaw-dropping 49%. What used to be a $20 buffet is now $60 to $100 per person, and even food courts inside luxury resorts charge $20 to $50 for a single meal. The gouging hits absurd levels. $25 for real cutlery at MGM properties, $30 for a coffee and bagel at Fontainebleau, $20 for a Red Bull and vodka on the Strip, $9 for a bottle of Diet Pepsi. These stories go viral online, magnifying Vegas's new reputation. Not fun, just fleecing. Social media spreads the outrage faster than casinos can bury it. And here's the kicker. Travelers aren't just annoyed. They're walking away. Why pay $500 for 2 nights, watered-down drinks, and a $60 early check-in fee when other cities, from Reno, Tahoe to Phoenix, offer better value? Vegas used to sell dreams. Now it sells resentment. But if you think overpriced food and rooms are bad, wait until you see what's happening on the casino floor, where the games themselves are rigged against you, like never before. Number 6. The death of the fair game. If you thought the prices outside the casino were brutal, step onto the gaming floor and prepare to be insulted. Las Vegas built its empire on the thrill of a fair gamble. Low table minimums, 3-2 blackjack, and a chance, however slim, for the little guy to win big. But in 2025, that dream has been quietly buried under a pile of corporate greed. Let's start with blackjack, the bread-and-butter game of Vegas. Once upon a time, you could stroll into almost any strip casino, sit at a $5 table, and test your luck. Not anymore. Today, those $5 tables are extinct. On the Strip, even a $25 minimum is rare, and if you want to play traditional 3-2 blackjack, forget it. That payout ratio has been shoved into the high roller rooms with $100 minimum bets, effectively locking out the average tourist. Instead, you're stuck with 6-5 blackjack, where the house edge nearly triples. Roulette hasn't escaped the corporate scalpel either. The old single zero wheel, already rare in the US, was replaced years ago by the double zero standard. Now, triple zero roulette is spreading like wildfire, boosting the house advantage to over 7%. That's nearly double the odds gamblers faced just a decade ago. For the casinos, it's a jackpot. For you, it's legalized robbery dressed up in neon lights. And here's the cruelest twist. Many of these games are losing their human touch altogether. Instead of live dealers, casinos are swapping in digital terminals, where one dealer runs the game for dozens of screens. To management, it's efficient. Fewer employees, lower payroll. But to players, it strips away the camaraderie, the subtle edge of reading a dealer, the very essence of casino gambling. You're not playing against Vegas anymore. You're playing against an algorithm that never blinks. The consequences are clear. Tourists don't leave Vegas with stories of wild nights and lucky streaks. They leave complaining that they never even had a chance. And when gamblers feel the game is rigged, they stop coming. The house may always win, but when the house kills the illusion of fairness, it kills the city's soul. So if the casino floor feels like a hostile battlefield, just wait, because the next blow comes not from the games, but from the very people who were supposed to make your trip magical. The employees themselves. Number 5. When service disappears. The layoff crisis. Imagine paying $500 a night for a strip hotel, only to drag your own luggage, bus your own table, and beg an app for help instead of a concierge. Welcome to Las Vegas 2025. The very city that sold itself on over-the-top service is quietly dismantling it, piece by piece, and tourists are waking up angry. It started with layoffs that flew under the radar. Caesars Entertainment merged the roles of servers and bussers at its buffets, forcing older, long-time staff to quit. What does that mean for you? You shell out $60 to $100 per person for a buffet, only to watch one exhausted worker juggle clearing tables, refilling drinks, and taking orders. That's not luxury, it's chaos. Then came MGM Resorts International. Entire bell desks at properties like Excalibur were eliminated. Guests who once expected a warm welcome now find no one to carry their bags. MGM also gutted concierge departments. Unless you're a high roller, your help comes in the form of a chatbot. Resorts World followed suit, and Fontainebleau even escorted laid-off dealers out the door with security guards, as if they were criminals. The message is clear. Service is expendable. Profits are not. Why does this matter? Because Las Vegas has always been about more than flashing lights and slot machines. It was about feeling like royalty, no matter your budget. That illusion is gone. Guests report long waits for housekeeping, understaffed restaurants, and front desks that feel more like DMV counters. When employees are spread thin or replaced by apps, the customer experience collapses. And if people are paying premium prices for discount treatment, resentment builds fast. The irony? These cuts don't just hurt tourists, they hurt the city itself. Hospitality jobs were the backbone of Las Vegas's middle class. Fewer jobs mean fewer locals spending money, which spirals back into a weaker economy. Vegas is literally gutting its own lifeline in pursuit of short-term savings. And here's the kicker. The soul of Vegas isn't just slipping away. It's being replaced. Because while human workers vanish, casinos are doubling down on something colder, more robotic, and far more profitable. Number 4. The vanishing choices, dining and entertainment in decline. Once upon a time, Las Vegas was defined by abundance. Buffets that stretched the length of football fields, dozens of quirky afternoon shows for $20 or less, an endless menu of options, cheap, fancy, and everything in between. But that version of Vegas is gone. What's left in 2025 feels stripped down, hollowed out, and engineered to drain your wallet with fewer options than ever before. Take the buffets. For decades, they were the symbol of Vegas excess. Prime rib, crab legs, and dessert tables piled high. Now, most are gone. What remains are just a handful of mega buffets charging $60 to $100 per person, with limited hours and no dinner service. Instead, casinos tout their shiny new food halls as progress. But food halls are not cheaper or better. They're standardized, overpriced, and boring. You walk in, and every stall charges $20 to $50 for a single meal. Variety has been replaced by uniform mediocrity. The same collapse is hitting entertainment. Not long ago, you could catch the Mac King comedy show for $5 with a coupon. Even mid-tier productions ran just $30 to $40 a ticket. Now, those days are extinct. Small, affordable shows have vanished, swallowed by the dominance of $150 to $300 Cirque du Soleil tickets and headliners like Lady Gaga or Bruno Mars. Bringing a family of four? Expect to drop $400 to $600 just for seats. Suddenly, entertainment is no longer spontaneous. It's a luxury splurge. Why does this matter? Because choice was the engine of Vegas's magic. Families could tailor their trip around their budget. Young couples could grab a cheap show on a whim. Retirees could enjoy variety without breaking the bank. Now, everyone is herded into the same expensive experiences, or left with nothing. The spontaneity is gone, replaced by a suffocating sense that every option is designed to bleed you dry. And it doesn't stop at food and shows. Even the nightlife scene, once fueled by competition, has narrowed into a few mega clubs where $500 bottle service is the norm. Vegas used to offer something for everyone. In 2025, it feels like it only caters to one type of visitor, the ultra-rich. But if you think shrinking choices are frustrating, just wait until you see what happens when basic supply and demand economics finally catch up with Sin City. Because the tourists walking away aren't just making a statement, they're setting up a reckoning. Number 3. The economics don't add up. Supply, demand, and the coming reckoning. Las Vegas was built on a simple equation. Cheap rooms plus cheap eats equals massive foot traffic, which translated into profits on the casino floor. But in 2025, that formula has been flipped upside down. The Strip now charges luxury prices while delivering budget service. And basic economics is finally catching up with the city. Here's the contradiction. Despite charging 26% more for hotel stays than before the pandemic, Strip occupancy is actually lower than it was in 2019. Back then, Vegas boasted a jaw-dropping 95% occupancy rate. Today, it's closer to 85%. Think about that. Fewer rooms available, thanks to closures like the Mirage and Tropicana, but still fewer people filling them. Occupancy should be higher with less supply, yet it's falling. Why? Because tourists aren't buying what Vegas is selling. The same imbalance is hitting food and entertainment. The data doesn't lie. A 49% increase in food costs since 2015 has left visitors furious, with $30 bagels and $20 cocktails going viral on TikTok. Instead of drawing crowds, these prices repel them. Every time a tourist shares a photo of a $9 Diet Pepsi on Reddit, another dozen potential visitors rethink their trip. The bad press multiplies, feeding a cycle of declining demand. Meanwhile, the casinos keep trying to solve the problem by raising prices further, essentially squeezing fewer guests for more money. But this isn't sustainable. As any economist will tell you, when prices climb faster than wages or perceived value, demand collapses. And that's exactly what's happening. International visitation is drying up. Domestic travelers are heading to Reno, Phoenix, or even tribal casinos that offer better odds and lower fees. The irony? If enough people stay away, the Strip will have no choice but to lower its prices. Economics will force a reset. But until then, Vegas is in a dangerous feedback loop. Gouge guests, lose guests, raise prices to make up for lost revenue, lose even more guests. It's the classic death spiral of a brand that forgot its customer. And while economics might sound cold and abstract, its impact is anything but. Because as the money dries up, the city itself begins to unravel, leaving behind a human crisis that Vegas can't hide under neon lights. Number 2. The social fallout. When the Vegas dream collapses. Behind the neon lights and Instagram reels, Las Vegas is living through a reality it doesn't want you to see. The city that promised endless opportunity is now buckling under the weight of its own decisions. And the fallout is hitting ordinary people the hardest. Tourists may feel gouged, but locals are the ones paying the real price. Start with homelessness. Walk a few blocks off the Strip and you'll see it firsthand. Encampments tucked under overpasses, clusters of tents near vacant lots, families with nowhere to go. The homeless population in Las Vegas has surged past 6,500, one of the highest per capita rates in the U.S. And unlike in decades past, many aren't transients passing through. They're former service workers, casino employees, or renters priced out by skyrocketing housing costs. Imagine losing your job after a casino layoff, then watching average rents climb past $1,500 for a one-bedroom, while your unemployment check barely covers groceries. For too many, that's reality. Crime, unsurprisingly, follows economic despair. The FBI ranks Las Vegas in the top 20% of U.S. metros for violent crime, and locals report thefts, assaults, and scams increasing around the tourist corridors. Tourists complain of being hassled by aggressive street performers demanding tips, or fake monks pressing for donations on pedestrian bridges. The Strip is becoming less a place of wonder, more a gauntlet of petty hustles. And here's the darkest irony. The very industry that built Las Vegas, the casino resort machine, has created this mess. By slashing jobs, raising costs, and gutting service, corporations widened the gap between what locals earn and what it takes to survive. Service workers who once carved out a middle-class life now find themselves choosing between rent and food. The city of second chances is failing its own people. For visitors, this social unraveling creates a jarring contrast. You might pay $20 for a watered-down cocktail at Caesar's Palace, then step outside and see someone begging for change on the same block. That's not escapism, it's dystopia. And every tourist who leaves with that memory takes a piece of Vegas's reputation down with them. But if you think homelessness and crime are the final blow, think again. Because the number one reason Vegas has lost its soul isn't just about prices or poverty. It's about replacing people altogether. Number 1. The rise of robot dealers. When the human touch dies. Casinos used to feel alive. The banter with a blackjack dealer, the camaraderie around a craps table, the wink of encouragement when the dice were hot. That human touch was the magic dust that kept people coming back to Vegas year after year. But in 2025, that magic is being systematically erased, replaced by cold efficiency and glowing screens. Here's what's happening. More and more casinos are replacing live dealers with automated terminals and hybrid games. Instead of 4 dealers managing 4 roulette tables, one dealer now oversees a room of 50 players staring at digital kiosks. To management, this is a dream. Fewer salaries, fewer benefits, more profit. To the gambler, it's a nightmare. The room feels sterile, the social spark gone. You're not playing a game anymore. You're feeding money into a machine with no personality. The consequences go beyond atmosphere. Dealers weren't just card shufflers. They were gatekeepers of fairness. They explained rules to new players, slowed the pace for casual gamblers, and made the table feel approachable. With robots, the opposite is true. The pace is relentless. Mistakes aren't forgiven. Odds are tweaked in ways players barely notice until it's too late. The entire setup screams, this isn't about fun, it's about extraction. And for the thousands of dealers who built their lives around these jobs, the shift is devastating. Layoffs ripple through the community, hollowing out neighborhoods that once relied on steady casino work. Vegas always branded itself as a people-first destination, even if the people were dealers working 12-hour shifts for tourists from Ohio or Japan. Strip away the workers, and you strip away the soul. Ask yourself this: do you really want to fly across the country, pay $300 a night plus $50 in resort fees, only to sit in front of a glorified slot machine pretending to be blackjack? That's the future Vegas is selling, and it's not a future most people want to buy. When the human connection disappears, so does the allure. And without allure, Las Vegas isn't Las Vegas anymore. It's just another overpriced theme park running on autopilot. Vegas didn't lose its magic overnight. It sold it, piece by piece, to the highest bidder. Until prices drop, service returns, and the human touch makes a comeback, visiting now is a fool's errand. What do you think? Can Vegas recover, or is the dream gone for good? Drop your thoughts below.